Oh, we are live. The starter stream program. Good morning, player profiler. Woo, baby, here we go. You've got questions. I've got answers about fantasy football. Thank God for daylight savings. I don't know what I would do without daylight savings. We had a little bit of a party last night, and I was out pretty late. So this is the Podfather after a night of imbibing. So thank God for daylight savings. Woo! I don't know what I would have done if I had to get up an hour earlier. It would have been crazy. Ooh, let's go. Let's fucking do this. Let's go. Oh. I did brush my teeth, so I did. Did I have something in my teeth? I did brush my teeth. Jan, that's a new one. Jan's in the chat here. Have PPR flex bathroom or a Dunze or Washington. Bathroom. Okay. I just went to the bathroom, actually. I love is that Parker Washington? You're deciding between Parker Washington and Dunze? It's a good question. I mean, I like the question. I'm going to Dunze, though. At no point in my life, I just want to be clear about this, am I ever going to start Parker Washington over a Dunze? Like, I get it. I mean, maybe if there's no Caleb Williams, but then if there's no Caleb Williams, we have Tyson Bagent, and that might be even better at this point. So I can't really envision a world where I'm not starting a Dunze. I'm all in on a Dunze. This is the breakout week for a Dunze. This is the second big NFL spike week for a Dunze, and this is a get-right week for Jalen Waddle. So I just want to I'm putting this up front. And so I did the thing where I not only did I check the injury news today before we went live, I also checked just Adam Schefter's Twitter, because sometimes the news services don't pick up on all the things on Adam Schefter's Twitter. And man, this guy is... Can we pay him? I just feel weird just getting all of this information for free from Adam Schefter. He is not... I feel like Adam Schefter is not getting compensated fair return for what he's providing. I mean, I was like, how can I guess there's a way to tip people on Twitter now. There must be a way to do it. I got to figure it out. I want to tip Adam Schefter. So Jonnu Smith apparently went on a podcast saying Buffalo is the worst place on earth. It was called the worst place you can be in the world. That's what he called Buffalo. And he said the wings aren't even good. Buffalo wings aren't even good. So he really, I love Frank's Red Hot. I love Buffalo wings. I don't eat them like I used to. I wish I could. But Buffalo wings, I mean, please. We're starting Buffalo wings every Sunday. Okay? If anyone wants to know if we're sitting Buffalo wings or we're streaming another snack over Buffalo wings, that's not happening. So I thought it was fair that Jonnu Smith, being from Miami and now playing in Miami, would prefer Miami to Buffalo. I think that's very fair. But don't get Buffalo wings involved in this. Okay? I think that's wrong. Okay? I also love a great Cuban sandwich. You know, you're not gonna. You don't want Cuban sandwiches getting involved either. Like, just leave them out of it. These are delicious things. Knock it off, buddy. So now he's gonna go to Buffalo and play. And I think that he's a fun streamer. People are forgetting about Jonnu Smith, even though he's had some big weeks. He has great yards after the catch ability. He essentially provides exactly what Tucker Kraft provides, except it's a more consolidated target distribution in Miami than it is in Green Bay. So the difference between Jonnu Smith and Tucker Kraft is slight. And yet, especially in Dynasty, oh my God, much rather have Kraft and, Jonnu's, late 20s. Tucker Kraft, super young, not even 25 yet. What's it matter? If a tight end is 24 versus 28, who cares? Right? Should be closer in all formats. Jonnu Smith and Tucker Kraft. Also, bad news for Anthony Richardson, per Adam Schefter and the research over there at ESPN. Only Mitchell Trubisky that was benched at this point in his rookie contract. He's the only quarterback to have started a playoff game. Wow. Or even made a Pro Bowl. So bad precedent for Anthony Richardson. It's not looking good. It is not looking good. I'm curious about what trades have gone down for Anthony Richardson. If anyone wants to put that in the chat, if they've seen trades go down with Anthony Richardson in Dynasty, I couldn't be more curious. Wan'Dale Robinson or Ertz? That's a good one. I think we should go to the rankings for that. So we're going to go to the rankings for that. Anytime you have a tight end and a wide receiver, I would have to go to our projections. So I'm going to go to the player profile projections on this. In our flex ratings, we have Zach Ertz at 76 with 11.3 projected fantasy points. I can promise you that's more than we're projecting for Wan'Dale Robinson. So I'm going to say Ertz all the way. That was my initial suspicion that it would be Ertz. And no, oh my God, it's not true. Oh, it's not true. Oh, wow. Really? Really? We love the target share that Wan'Dale Robinson's getting. We are. It's so close. I'm still going Ertz, though. I'm sticking with it. The projections technically say Wan'Dale Robinson, but I'm going Ertz, man. I'm going Ertz. There's a new trend that we're seeing where a lot of these tight ends are starting to produce, that we just had some random variance early in the year with all these no tight ends producing at all for a number of weeks. They're back. I think you go Ertz there. I think you get back on Ertz, and it's hard to start any Giants other than Neighbors. That's where I'm at with this. I don't want to do it. And they're showcasing Darius Slayton, trying to trade him. Have they traded Darius Slayton yet? I mean, they're going to trade him. The one player we know is going to be traded was Darius Slayton. The Jets are interested. Okay. Who else? We'll see. He's not yet. There's still plenty of rumors, but he's not yet traded. So this is a showcase week for Darius Slayton. I'm not starting Wan'Dale Robinson. McLaurin or Chase Brown? Chase Brown is interesting. Chase Brown has the backfield to himself. No Zach Moss. This is an exciting week for Chase Brown. But I'm not benching McLaurin under any circumstances. No way. McLaurin has 30-point upside each and every week. I don't love the Giants game because it's the Giants and it's at the Giants, and this just screams trap game for Washington. It's the trappiest of trap games. I'm going McLaurin. McLaurin is just a dynamite player. We know McLaurin is a much better football player than Chase Brown, even though Chase Brown's going to be in a primary back role. But I just don't think they're going to give him workhorse touches. They might. It's possible, but I want to see it. I want to see the team give Chase Brown the workhorse touches over Travion Williams. I want to see it before I believe it. And I'm just suspicious of a player like Chase Brown, undersized, has struggled in a lot of the ancillary areas of the position. I'll wait and see. I'll wait for the team to show they trust him. Otherwise, though, I mean, we're talking about McLaurin here. I mean, McLaurin is an elite starter. I've McLaurin finishing as a top 12 fantasy receiver overall. So I'm not benching McLaurin, but I'm sure there's going to be plenty of instances and questions that we're going to have today involving Chase Brown where the answer is going to be Chase Brown. Typically, almost always, you're going to go with the primary back whenever this question comes up. We have Chase Brown projected for like 17 fantasy points, and we have Terry McLaurin projected for 17 as well. So we have them both projected for 17 fantasy points. It's very close. It's very close, and I know it's Las Vegas, and it's a great matchup. I understand it. They give up, the 8th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. So close. It's so close. But, I mean, Chase Brown's snap share last week was only 47%. So I want to see him really seize the role before I start him. I'm trying to think if there's an upside case for Chase Brown here. There's huge upside for McLaurin as well, right? I think that if you really felt like you were a dog this week, then I would start Chase Brown because there is a little more upside. Like, okay, he does operate in that primary back role. He does catch a bunch of passes. He scores a touchdown, maybe 2 touchdowns. They lean on him in the second half against Las Vegas. I mean, these are all things that I'm saying, but we've never seen it, so it's just tough. So I think you'd have to be you'd have to have, let's say, a 20% chance of winning this week to start Chase Brown. Otherwise, just lock in McLaurin and never doubt McLaurin. He's so good. Coleman, Leggett, or Elijah Moore. We're all in on Leggett. Or Leggett? Leggett? Leggett. I think it's Leggett. Leggett? It's not Leggett. I think it's, or was it Xavier? I was saying Xavier Leggett, and I think that's wrong. I think it's Leggett. I was pronouncing it wrong. It's not Leggett. I know that. I think it's Leggett, but it might. Let me know. Put the phonetic pronunciation, phonetic spelling in the chat if you don't mind. Let me know how to pronounce this name. But I'm a fan. Right? I'm a fan. He's going to score 10 plus fantasy points. We're right there. We have Coker and Leggett, right? Both right at like 11 projected fantasy points. Elijah Moore, though, I'm excited. But Judy's playing. Tillman is the clear alpha. Can't do it. Keon Coleman, same thing. Basically, Leggett's a similar player to Keon Coleman. They had similar draft capital, similar players, really. Leggett's a little a little more dynamic, I think, a little faster. So, and he's coming on. I like it. I think he has more upside because we haven't seen him necessarily in like a, preparing all week as if he is going to be the alpha. He or Coker, we're going to find out. I think it's going to be him. Though I love Coker. I mean, Jalen Coker. We're talking about Holy Cross. We're talking about an undrafted rookie who somehow climbs the depth chart in the early part of his rookie year in the NFL. This is one of the more unprecedented things I've seen in a long time. This is like faster than Rashid Shaheed. It's climbing up and seizing a big role. I mean, it's super impressive. And then giving the organization the confidence to just trade Deontay Johnson. Coker. I mean, but I also love that New Orleans gives up a lot of fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. So they're number 6 in the league. So there's a lot to like about Coker and Leggett this week. They're great upside plays. They're great, but also there's a nice little floor there. They're going to get targets. It's nice. Coleman, I don't know. Coleman, we know that the Amari Cooper with his wrist, he's going to play. There's a lot of options there in Buffalo. I don't trust it. I just as soon go with a guy that I know is going to get the targets, as opposed to a guy like Coleman who, I think if you're a dog chasing those points, 49.5 points with the over-under in that game. I get why you would play Coleman for upside. I think there, though, it's not like, I only have a 20% chance of winning. I think, anything where you're under 50%, you can go Coleman. And I think anything above 50%, if you feel like you're in good shape, then I think you just go you go Leggett. But it's very close. These are great questions. These are the best questions that we've gotten. It took till week 9, but wow, you guys are really coming strong with these questions. Shakir or Worthy? Another great question. Man. This is the problem with Buffalo, right? They've got Shakir as well, and he's playing great. So, I mean, I don't know what Worthy is, man. Worthy's starting to freak me out. Oh, this is tough. Oh, the Chiefs have so many implied points. We're going to go to the rankings. You guys are really challenging me. I haven't been to the rankings this much, the projections this much in a while. Yeah, we don't have Worthy projected for much because he hasn't done much. Even though Tampa gives up, 4.8 fantasy points above the mean to opposing wide receivers, we just can't get there. Shakir, we have him projected for like 5 more fantasy points than Xavier Worthy. So I think that in all circumstances, upside or not, there's upside with Shakir. Like, even if you feel like you're a dog this week, you play Shakir because the upside is all the points that can be scored in Buffalo. He could go nuclear. We're talking 10 catches for 120 yards. That's very much in his range of outcomes. And I think he's a problem for a Keon Coleman. Yeah. So I the more I think about it, the more I'm in on Leggett over Coleman. See, Dottle or McMillan PPR, we know that Zeke is not playing. So Zeke had a disciplinary 1-game suspension or more. We don't know what's going to happen with Zeke, but it's all about Dottle, man. It's all about Dottle. I know Dalvin Cook's there, and Dalvin Cook's like a desperation play, but I would play anytime you're talking about a fringe receiver that we haven't seen produce yet, make him produce, right? Like already I've been hurt by Worthy. I've been playing some Worthy for upside and getting burned and regretting it. So same thing with McMillan. Let him prove it. Tyrone Tracy or Amon-Ra St. Brown? Wow, I can't believe we're in this position. In standard. Wow, that's a great question. Man, Washington's defense, it's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky for Tyrone Tracy, this defense. I would say Amon-Ra, even in standard. I understand, though. I understand why the question. What do we have Amon-Ra projected for in standard? This is helping nobody. Nobody cares about this. This question's helping exactly nobody. Yeah. Yeah, this is what I thought. This is what yeah. Wow. Tyrone Tracy is the start. So again, if all else equal, you're starting Tyrone Tracy this week, and you're also starting Tyrone Tracy for upside, I think the only time you're going to be starting Amon-Ra is if you're an 80% favorite. If you're an 80% favorite, then you can go ahead and start Amon-Ra because you know what you're getting with Amon-Ra with the targets. It's much more stable. But other than that, I think if you're anything lower than 80% lock to win, you got to go ahead and start Tyrone Tracy in standard leagues. Otherwise, of course, it's Amon-Ra. Great question, though. Wow, that's a great question. Deontay Johnson or Elijah Moore? Ooh, what's going to happen with Deontay Johnson? Let's just wait and see. We know Elijah Moore is getting 10 targets a game with Jameis Winston. We're very happy about this. I think we just ride that out and we see what happens with Deontay. We see what kind of target share he's going to get. He's not going to get a bigger target share than Zay Flowers. Probably not a bigger target share than Mark Andrews is coming on. He's getting healthier. So it's it's tough. You have Deontay Johnson. Oh my God. Oh, the thing that nobody talks about is when you make these draft picks based solely on target share, and Deontay Johnson was strictly a target share play this year. Things can happen to really drag that player down that are outside your control. The target share and the targets are a built-in assumption that he's on that team, that we know who that the quarterback play is going to be somewhat competent. But the problem with Deontay Johnson this year has been these games where Bryce Young couldn't function, and now he's traded. And so, it's a bit of a lesson where some people, they're deciding between, okay, a player we know to be a phenomenal all-purpose everything receiver in a Terry McLaurin, or a guy that we think is going to get more targets in Deontay Johnson. You just go with the player. You pick the player over the situation every time. Okay? Odunze or McMillan, exactly. And this is what we're talking about. Now, on a week-to-week basis, when you know the situation, you could actually start McMillan. You could, but I'm not. But see, McMillan's not even in the same universe as Odunze, and everyone that watched Washington knows that. Right? If you saw the Huskies, you get it. Odunze, he's only projected for 7.3 fantasy points this week. Like, you're not going to be, he's not a projection play. But against Kansas City, this is not a good situation for McMillan. This is not what you want. It feels like it might be a comeback mode, but the Kansas City defense has been so smothering, especially their secondary. They're giving up, listen to this, more than 8 fantasy points below the mean to opposing wide receivers in PPR leagues. That's smothering. That's so stout. You can't play a fringe receiver against that defense. You cannot do it. Oh. Cooper or Coleman? Really? See, this is a bad question. This isn't close. We're all in on Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper hurt his wrist last week. Amari Cooper is I will go to war with anyone who tries to say that Amari Cooper is not a good fit for Josh Allen. I'm all there on Amari Cooper, and Keon Coleman is the 4th receiver on that team, behind Shakir, behind Kincaid. So, not doing it. Tucker Kraft or TJ Hawkinson. Well, the beauty is, you could say, well, TJ Hawkinson, he's just coming back. Nonsense. Tucker Kraft already has like the lowest target depth of any tight end. So what are you missing out on? Right? You're not missing out on anything by starting Hawkinson. He will instantly, back from injury, have a deeper target depth, and he steps right into the number 2 receiver role for a team that's going to be throwing. Who doesn't love that? He's the number 2 receiver instantly. Is Tucker Kraft the number 2 receiver in Green Bay? Not even close. Probably the number 4. If you were ranking talent, the Packers, it would be Jaden Reed, then Christian Watson, then Bo Melton, then Dontavian Wicks, then Tucker Kraft, then Romeo Doubs. If you're ranking the talent. And we know that's true because Romeo Doubs threw a tantrum about it. That's how you know it's true. Yeah. Yeah, I love this. Look at the decorum. C.G. McGregor. He's in here with the decorum. You love the decorum. You love the early Sunday morning decorum. I'm doing great, by the way. I'm feeling great. You all lift me up. Yeah, I might be a little bit, might be a little struggling this morning from doing a little bit of drinking last night. But you all lift me up, man. I'm setting my alarm. I'm here. You know, lock it in. 8:05, 8:20, 8:18, somewhere in that area, somewhere between 8 and 8:30, I will be going live with the Starter Stream Show. You know it. I know it. Set your watch by it. And then make sure you account for daylight savings time. Sit one. Hunt, Tracy, or Waddle. Ooh. Whoa. Well, it's you're definitely playing Hunt. I hate that you're playing Hunt, but you're playing him. And then the big question is Tracy versus Waddle. And I think it's got to be Tracy, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's Tracy easily. Yeah, we have Tracy projected for 3 more fantasy points than Jalen Waddle. I love Waddle, but there's upside with Tracy, and there's also the stability of knowing he's going to get touches. So there's no, underdog versus a locked-in favorite where you would start Waddle. There's no scenario. You want upside? Tracy. You want stability? Tracy. Tracy. Swift or Devontae Smith? I mean, Swift. You're starting the running back. You're going to be starting the running back. It's close, though. It's very close. I mean, they have the exact same projection. But Swift going against Arizona, we could see a shootout here. I know Devontae Smith's got the incredible matchup against Jacksonville. They give up the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. However, I am chasing the upside of the primary back who could be in a shootout. There's actually more upside there than any wide receiver with a great matchup. And there's also more stability, too, where you know that DeAndre Swift's going to have like a 10-plus touch floor. We don't know exactly what Devontae Smith's target share is going to be. Goddard's back, I believe. If not, let's see. I gotta check that. It's Goddard. I thought I saw he was back. Pretty sure. We'll see. Well, I'm gonna get the facts on this. Pretty sure he's back. Dallas Goedert. Wow. He's ruled out, so I'm wrong. Dallas Goedert is not back. Wow. I think that's the first time I've misremembered. You could tell that I wasn't sure about it because I checked it. But my memory's been pretty good about who's out and who's in. With Goddard out, that makes it even harder. That makes me really, oh my God. I mean, this is the dream scenario. Oh my God, that's a tough question. You people have really good fantasy teams. If you're in this position, congratulations. Where you have a bunch of other better options at wide receiver than Devontae Smith. Wow. Good for you. You've got a bunch of other great options at running back, and you're figuring out a flex between Swift and Smith. That's incredible. These are 2 top 30 options this week. Just understand that. Just understand how well you're doing. You're doing great, if that's your question. I'm going to go DeAndre Swift. It's a great matchup. I mean, Arizona gives up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Let's go. Then the question is David Montgomery. I mean, how do you not love David Montgomery this week? But I'm going Devontae Smith. See, that's the thing, right? David Montgomery technically isn't the primary back there. Gibbs is the primary back. We've seen enough from Detroit to know that even in situations where they can sit on a lead, they're still giving Jahmyr Gibbs the same number of carries as David Montgomery. They're not just protecting Gibbs. I would be more protective of Gibbs in these games where they have a big lead, but they're not. Like, they're feeding him. They are feeding Gibbs and also definitely giving him more touches in the passing game. So It's a very different situation than we have with Swift. Swift's opportunity share, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, where does Swift rank? If we go to the data analysis tool on Player Profiler, we could see where DeAndre Swift ranks just on his player page. Where does he rank in opportunity share here? Yeah, he's number 12 in the NFL among all running backs in opportunity share, which is the share of running back targets and carries on his team. He's number 12 in snap share, number 12 in opportunity share, number 16 in weighted opportunities. The team is running 30 times a game, which is number 10 in the league. I mean, his efficiency's not great. He's only putting up 0.83 fantasy points per opportunity because he's DeAndre Swift. But he's been relatively efficient in the receiving game. Yards per route run, 2.0. That's top 10 in the league. Production premium, plus 3.5. Not great. Right? Breakaway runs, though. Right? 7 breakaway runs. 6.4% breakaway run rate. That's pretty good. Explosiveness rating of 98.0. That's pretty good. I mean, number 31 in the league. His juke rate, evaded tackles per touch, number 30 in the league. Anything under 20%, it just shows he's not that elusive anymore, right? He's breaking some long runs, but not that elusive. So he's better, and he's better as a receiver. Swift has always been better as a receiver. But for now, until they decide to they really should in Chicago, they should institute the touch distribution that the Lions have, so they can give Roschon more touches between the tackles. That would optimize things. But because Roschon's good enough in the passing game where that's not telegraphing to the defense what you're doing. Goff or Knicks? I love that we're having this conversation about Knicks. This is great. Wow, that's fun. We got to see that. I got to check this out. I'm pretty sure it's Goff, but it could be. Oh, it's Knicks. Oh, my God. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. And we have Derek Carr. We have Derek Carr as a QB1 this week. Top 12 quarterback. Wow. That's bold. When you have Derek Carr rated ahead of Kyler Murray, that's a bold projection. Yeah. I mean, Bo Nix against Baltimore, you got to go with it. You got to go with it. Lions, their running game and their defense is just too good. Just too good at this point. And Bo Nix is running a lot. How much has Bo Nix been running? Let's look at the Bo Nix rushing. He has 260 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns already. That's why you're going Bo Nix right there. So one guy's trying to decide between Tyrone Tracy, Adunze, and Waddle. It's Tyrone Tracy. I think we answered that question. Cedric Tillman or Tolbert? It's Tillman. Tillman all day. Flowers or Downs? Not with Deontay Johnson in town. It's absolutely Flowers. I mean, it's absolutely Downs. Excuse me. Downs with Flacco is a must start. You have to start him. It's absolutely Downs. God, I feel bad for Flowers. He's like, why did you do this to me? We're still going to be more bullish on Flowers than others. We have been all year, and we're going to continue to be. So I'll just tell you where we have Flowers. We have Flowers still as a top 20 option this week. He's right there with Khalil Shakir, Jaden Reed, Devontae Adams. Jacoby Myers. But we have Josh Downs with 1.5 more this week going against Minnesota. You're not benching Josh Downs. For the love of God, please do not ask me about Josh Downs. You're starting him. Josh Downs is incredible. Does anyone look at what he did in college? He came out early, super undersized. He's basically Devontae Smith. Like, he's Devontae Smith. He's not athletic necessarily. He's not big. He's just incredible at the art of playing wide receiver. That's what he is. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. Oh, my God. Michael Pittman is the sell of all sells in Dynasty. Michael Pittman's never going to be back as an alpha receiver on the Colts. He's got to go somewhere else. The thing is, though, if they like Adonai Mitchell, they could move on from Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman contract. Let's see, Michael Pittman. We have the contracts tab on Player Profiler. Bam, there it is. Michael Pittman Jr. As a cap hit, $23 million next year. And they can get out for only $5 million of dead cap. The Colts are not going to pay Michael Pittman $29 million, 10% of their cap. They're not going to pay that in 2026. So Michael Pittman could be an alpha somewhere. Signed a nice little 3-year, $70 million contract recently. And I wonder if the Colts are regretting this. I bet they are. I bet they're like, why did we didn't need to do this? We love Addy Mitchell. We've got Alec Pierce stretching the field. Now we've got our primary receiver, the guy that's going to be open on every play that we can lock him in as the first read in Josh Downs. We don't need Michael Pittman anymore. I wonder what the trade possibilities are. You never see a trade like that. You never see receive. Well, I guess we saw Tyreek Hill get traded, but Tyreek Hill wanted a new contract. You don't see players that just signed a new contract get traded. That just doesn't happen. So he's gonna have to just persevere. He's 27, just turned 27, so he's not gonna be able to get out of there until his age 29 season. I guess he'll be 27 going into next year still. He'll still be barely 27. And then, so yeah, he'll be going into his age 28 season in 2026, and maybe he can be somewhere else and he can try. But I think we've seen enough of Michael Pittman in like an alpha role. I think it's good. It's good to have him be a secondary option somewhere else. Myers or Sutton? It's Jacoby Myers week, guys. This is all about Jacoby Myers. I'll tell you exactly where we have him ranked just so you can fully understand what I'm talking about. We're talking about he's the 16th ranked receiver this week in our projections. Dowdle, D-Hop, Pittman, Sutton. No, you're playing Dowdle this week. It's all about Dowdle. Dowdle. I still don't know how to pronounce his name. People pronounce it differently depending on who you're talking to and who you're listening to. The Cowboys are playing the Falcons. It's a 52-point total. You're playing Dowdle. Don't dilly-dawdle. Play Dowdle. Addison, Andrews, Bigsby, BTJ. So what's up with BTJ? Is he a game-time decision? What's up with ETN and BTJ? Let's look at that. Last time I checked before I went live, there was nothing about Brian Thomas and his availability. Maybe some stuff came out. Brian Thomas Jr. injury. Let's see what the internet has to say. Likely to play. You love to see it. Okay, according to NFL.com, he is likely to play. I mean, it was a chest injury. It wasn't that serious. Yep. So it says Bigsby, ETN are also likely to play. And Ian Rappaport added that Brian Thomas also likely to play through a chest injury. This is great. So the answer there is easy. It's BTJ. It's not Tank Bigsby. ETN's going to play. Right? So let's go. BTJ or McConkey. Oh, this guy has a U.S. flag in his avatar. Tis the season. Ooh, man. I'm going McConkey. I know there's no Christian Kirk. I get it, right? But I'm gonna go McConkey this week. I want to ride that wave. We have McConkey projected for 13 fantasy points. And yeah, let's see. Do we have Thomas in the projections yet? We do. Yeah, we have him projected for a couple more fantasy points. We have McConkey projected for not a couple, 0.6 fantasy points more than Brian Thomas, and I like that. I don't love this matchup. The Philly matchup is not good. The Cleveland matchup, much better. And I think he'll be able to get away from Denzel Ward. McConkey will be able to get away from Denzel Ward. And so DJ Chark is back, so Chark might actually absorb some Denzel Ward. I think Chark will help. It's better to have Chark out there than it is to have Quentin Johnston. I don't think Quentin Johnston helps anybody. I don't think defenses respect him. I think they respect the speed of Chark. That should open things up for McConkey even more. And with Winston helping to fuel, a better game environment, let's go. Also, it's interesting. Chargers, even though they run the ball a lot, they still have 22 implied points compared to Jacksonville only 19 implied points. So there's really not an upside case for Brian Thomas either. It's just McConkey in all cases. So John McGlynn is in the chat. He says that Anchor Bar in Buffalo is overrated, like Wingstop. I'm sure it is. I'm sure there's plenty of places. I think it's the Dive Bar podcast, so maybe it was taken out of context. Maybe it's fake news. This whole Jonnu Smith hates Buffalo. Maybe he just hates Anchor Bar. And it was, who knows? Well, you have to go listen to the podcast to get the context. I just love that this is a thing. And Jonnu Smith is hating it. It's great. Or maybe he's loving it. Maybe he thrives in these situations. Flowers or Amari Cooper? We're Flowers. Flowers. Until we see Deontay Johnson out there eating a sandwich that belongs to Zay Flowers, we're starting Zay Flowers. See what I did there? See I didn't use the cliche? See, that's for all the kids out there that are aspiring podcasters. I could have gone with the cliche there. We all know the cliche, right? But I didn't say it. I actually illustrated it in a much better way. I was more specific. I took the cliche and I get to the underlying meaning of it, and we did a hypothetical situation where now you can envision, instead of just the cliche, we move on. No, now you can imagine in the middle of the 50-yard line, Deontay Johnson potentially eating like a Subway sandwich, or if you're around here, Jersey Mike's popular place. I don't like it Mike's way, just so everybody knows. I don't get Mike's way. Why the Mike's way? If anyone's a Jersey Mike's fan, Mike's way guarantees that you are going to have soggy bread. I don't like soggy bread. I don't know why anyone is a fan of soggy bread. I like vinegar. I like salt and pepper. I like oregano and Italian spices. I also like to put that stuff between the elements of the sandwich. So between the meat and the lettuce or whatever, I like to minimize the impact that the vinegar is going to have in creating a soggy bread situation. And then so now you're saying I want it Mike's way, where they just dump vinegar all over it and guarantee the soggiest sandwich you're going to have. Why are you doing that to yourself? There's ways to get around it. You could also dip it in a little extra vinegar too. You can get the Mike's way on the side and do a little dip. That's much better than just letting it soak in vinegar and having bread that's just falling apart, soggy. I don't think that's an alpha move. I think it's a real beta move. I mean, can you think of a more beta move than soggy bread? Anyone that says they like soggy bread, that's a beta move. Mike's Way's overrated. It's like Anchor Bar. Let us know in the chat. What do you think of that? Also, oh my God, I just thought of it. Like this show. If you like this show, like it on the YouTube. And you should subscribe. I'm asking you to subscribe to the show because why? Then you know when I'm live. You know exactly when I'm live. You should subscribe. Pick 2 flexes. Marvin Harrison Jr., Chase Brown, Chuba Hubbard, Josh Downs, Mooney. Well, I have to see where we have Marvin Harrison ranked. We don't love Marvin Harrison this week. It's a bad matchup against Chicago, and I believe that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be erased by Jalen Johnson. For that reason, I'm not starting Marvin Harrison Jr. in this situation. Chase Brown gives you the upside. We don't know what the snap share is going to be. We're hopeful, but we don't know. Okay, so I'm going Chase Brown for upside, and I'm going Josh Downs to lock in that floor. I know Josh Downs is going to give me my 10 targets, and he's going to be super productive. So it's Chase Brown, Josh Downs. I think that's easy. I love those where you have two flex options. One guy gets my floor, one guy gets my ceiling. Ship it. Rachaad White or Rico Dowdle? Well, we know Bucky's playing. He's playing for that toe injury. I mean, this really is a Rachaad White week, isn't it? Isn't it a Rachaad White week against the Chiefs? Isn't this where you would think Rachaad White? I'm a little bit worried about. I mean, I'm still worried. It's such a. I hate playing people against Chicago. I hate playing people against Kansas City. You have, especially whenever you play against elite corners, they just make everybody's life easier and able to. It's just easier to make plays. Oh, this is hard. I'm going to go to the projections. Yeah, Rachaad White, we think is going to score 15 fantasy points. And then Dowdle, 15 fantasy points. Oh, there's 52 points, again, up for grabs in this game. I'm going Dowdle, but it's not. It's just because I don't want any part of this Kansas. I love Rachaad White. I can't believe I'm in a situation where we have Rachaad White projected for more points, and I'm actually saying go the other guy. But it's what it is. We like Dowdle and Rachaad White more than James Cook this week. I'm wagging a finger about James Cook. James Cook's one of those guys that Theo and I disagree. So if you like James Cook, don't worry. Theo has you. He has you covered. Okay? You can ignore me, and Theo will happily tout James Cook for you, and you can feel good about it. So half PPR. You got running back and flex spots. I don't understand this question. Does anyone understand this question? Is he saying he needs 2 of these 3 people? If that's the case, you just go Jacobs and Tracy. I don't understand that question. Some of these questions are just tough to figure out. Ridley or McConkey, is that really a question? Titans might get shut out. No thank you, Calvin Ridley. I get it, though. 10 targets, I get it. But McConkey can actually do a lot more with those targets. Chase Brown or Kareem Hunt? That is a good question. You guys are making good waiver wire pickups. The answer there is Tracy, actually. Yeah, Tyrone Tracy. Tyrone Tracy this week. Adunze over Keon Coleman this week. Adunze is like the number 2 receiver in Chicago. Keon Coleman's the number 4 receiver in Buffalo. Deontay Johnson or Shakir? It's Shakir all day. You can wait and see on Deontay. Tyrone Tracy over Stevenson. I'm pretty much Tyrone Tracy, all these guys. So Harry Snowman is asking about, I saw this, Jerome Ford off the injury report. Jerome Ford's going to get touches. It's very true. And Chubb hasn't been a guy you're starting with a lot of confidence, but he's going to have a week, right? Chubb's going to have a week. How much do we trust him this week, though? Not much, right? We don't. We have Cedric Tillman projected for more fantasy points this week. It's a terrible matchup for Nick Chubb. I would not play him this week because we don't know what the touch distribution is going to be. The guy just came back from a surgically repaired knee. Now they've got a quality running back to help share the load against a real stout defense. No way. Myers or Sutton, we're playing Jacoby Myers this week. We're playing, a Dunze or Pollard. See there, you got to go Pollard. Although Spears is back, right? Is Pollard playing? Pollard's playing, right? Pollard's playing. Oh, God. Oh, brutal. Absolutely brutal. He's expected to play. So Pollard is expected to play. We don't have him in the projections, though. So we got to get on that. We'll get on that. He didn't practice this week. Says he... there's optimism. Tough. Tough stuff. Tough stuff. According to Rappaport, there's optimism. Oh, God. Can't we just play a Dunze? Can't we just play a Dunze? Fuck it and play a Dunze. Spears is back. Just play a Dunze. Like, what are we gaining from Pollard in this game? What are we doing? Titans are at home against the Patriots, though. More implied points than you're going to see most weeks. God, if Pollard goes, you got to go with Pollard. I hate saying it. Got to do it. Waddle or Tillman? Waddle week. Waddle week. Jaden Reed, Josh Downs. Josh Downs. Josh Downs week. Josh Downs week. Laporta or Hawkinson? Hawkinson. Until we see something from Laporta, it's Hawkinson until further notice. BTJ, Kareem Hunt. Got to go Kareem Hunt. Got to go Kareem Hunt. Going to fall in the end zone. Taysom Hill, Zach Ertz. Hey, Zach Ertz, man. Zach Ertz is in. We're going Zach Ertz. We're bullish on Zach Ertz. Taysom Hill or Dalton Kincaid. I'm going Kincaid just based on the game total. Garendo or Mason rest of season? Interesting question. Oh, it's Leggett. Leggett. Go all the way back. Wow, am I this behind in the chat? Oh, my goodness, I am. Oh, my God. Oh, no. Spears isn't back. Spears is out. So we're definitely playing Pollard. Okay. Yeah, I think we're seeing in real time the effects of alcohol. Like you gotta realize I've been acing this. I read the injuries and then I remember them and I get full recall every day, every morning. Not this morning. Not this morning. So far, I've already blown it. I forgot Goddard and I forgot Spears. I thought Goddard was playing and he's not. I thought Spears was playing. He's not. So, Don't drink, kids. Don't drink. Don't drink and start sit. Don't drink in fantasy. Spears is out. Woo. It's tough scene out here for the Podfather. My voice is going too. This is this is tough. I feel good about gutting it out. Where are we at on the time? We got 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes to go. McMillan or Elijah Moore? We're going Elijah Moore. McMillan is not a good start this week. Terrifying. You're starting Pollard, and you're starting a Dunze. Here. I'm going to Dunze over Mooney. I know I just skipped ahead a lot of people here. I know I skipped ahead. I'm sorry. Okay, well, no. Let me explain this. So Harry's back, and he's talking about au jus sandwiches. And that's what I said. I said, if you're going to do this, you do a dip. Oh, my God. Wheels are falling off. You do a dip. That's how you do it. An au jus sandwich is a dip. It's a dip. That's what you want to do. You don't want it sitting in liquid, sogging the whole sandwich for like 10 minutes. You don't want that. That's what I'm saying. You want to just do a quick dousing of juice, meat, gravy, vinegar, whatever. You don't want it just sitting there getting super soggy. That's what I'm saying. Michael Wilson season. Sure. I mean, maybe. I don't like starting people against the Bears. I think it sucks. It's never good. I mean, sometimes it's good. But, oh, man. This is brutal. Someone says they miss Quiznos. I don't remember Quiznos that well. I think that's the toasted one. McConkey, Tillman, Waddle, pick 2. Oh, Wandale. Is Neighbors out or something? Did I see is Neighbors out? Did I miss this? Neighbors is not out. So we're not starting Wandale Robinson over Tillman. No way. No, there's what? Tillman's getting the targets and he's an outside playmaker. So no way. You're playing McConkey and you're playing Tillman. May, Herbert, Flacco, Geno. 6 points per passing touchdown. That's actually important in that situation. Thank you for saying that. And I see, by the way, I can see some of these thumbs downs that are coming in. I see a thumbs down. I get it. I would thumbs down the show. Okay, don't do that, please. Theo will kill me. But I get why. This is the worst starter stream show I've ever done. Will I learn my lesson and never drink alcohol again? Probably not. But I think I've done pretty good. I mean, we got till week 9 before I had one of these shows where I just wasn't functioning at 100%. Things just weren't firing. And now I can't even speak. That's the whole point of this, is that I'm speaking. And now I can't speak. So that's a problem. Let's answer this question, though. It's a tough one. The answer is Geno Smith against the Rams. If you have Geno Smith, you're playing him against the Rams. So you're playing Geno. Over May, over Flacco. If May wasn't playing the Titans in this just god-awful game where they have 17 implied points, in a better game environment, I would love May. I would love to play May. But you just go Geno. Go Geno. Pickled peppers on subs. I love those. I love a pickled, like a banana pepper. Waddle or Wandale? It's Waddle season. Come on now. BTJ. He's back. Yes. Very exciting. Washington or Coker in flex? This is a good question. This is why I'm here. I'm here for Washington versus Coker. I like Coker personally. I'm guessing we have it with over Washington in the, we have it Coker. Play Coker. If you have any, like, let's say McMillan, these questions, Washington, you're playing Coker this week. We're going Coker. Coker probably outscores like even a Wandale. I think I would still go Wandale, but I think that's close. And yes, Subway is the worst. No one's going to Subway. I don't know how they were in business. I don't get it. The price difference is what? It's like it's not that much. What's the difference between a full-size sandwich at Subway versus Jersey Mike's? It's not. Is it $1? I mean, it's not. I can't. For the difference in taste, I mean, I don't get it. And didn't Subway have some? Was there a controversy with Subway that they had like wood chips in their bread? What was what was that? See, for that reason, I'm not doing it. I'm not taking a chance. Did they put something in their bread? Yes, okay. Subway bread scandal auto-populated on Google. So you know, okay. So Subway removed the chemical azodicarbonamide. They removed that. Oh, wow. It's the chemical used to make yoga mats. They were putting that in their bread to help with its texture. Wow. They took it out in 2014. There was a scandal, though. So I think once you're putting yoga mat material in your bread at any point, you lose the trust of the public, and they go to Jersey Mike's, if for no other reason. Also, the sandwiches are trash. So there's that. And that's all I got. I think you should start Waddle this week. Start Coker. Okay. Start Dowdle. Start Bo Nix. Right? We're starting we're starting Flowers until further notice. Don't get scared off by Flowers. Don't get scared. Play Amari Cooper. Quarterbacks, we're starting Geno. If not now, never for Geno. We're starting Derek Carr. Streaming Derek Carr this week. You want to stream someone? Derek Carr is a great streaming option. Jonnu Smith's got a lot to prove to the people of Buffalo. If you're in Buffalo, don't throw chicken wings or sandwiches at Jonnu Smith. He might have been taken out of context. So, we'll see how he does. It's a little bit of a interesting grudge match happening with Jonnu and Buffalo to monitor. If you have Anthony Richardson in Dynasty, I'm sorry. Looks like it's not going to happen based on all the historic trends. And if you drafted Josh Downs just because he's good, just like you drafted Terry McLaurin because he's good at football, for all of you that drafted players like Ladd McConkey just because they're good at football regardless of their situation, or like the projected target share like in Jacksonville, oh, well, Brian Thomas doesn't have a Christian Kirk problem anymore, does he? Right? Just drafting good players, right? Who's the player this week who we just know is good, and regardless of what the projected target share is going to be, he's going to go off. He's going to go nuclear. This is the Jalen Waddle week, but this is also the week of Rome Odunze.